Okay, this is a little... Understand, you guys, that I threw this together as fast as I possibly could. I didn't even have time to update my headline because who would have expected this? So, Minister Fraser, you know, what are you doing? That's my question. What are you doing? I'm trying to make sense of this, you guys. What am I trying to make sense of? It's this right here. The fact that we have a new round of invitations today, just hot off the press, express entry round of invitation, just happened minutes ago. And this is monumental. It really is monumental. And yes, Lucy, absolutely. Super hopeful for people outside of Canada. I completely understand it. But then we have people here. Sangini, I hear what you're saying. Breaks my heart. CEC candidates suffer. So here's what I'm trying to sort out, you guys. What exactly is Minister Fraser thinking when they do a round of invitation like this? Especially when we've been in a world where there has been no program specified draws, which are inclusive of FSW and CEC, but at the same time knowing how many thousands, probably 100,000 people are in Canada looking to transition from TR to PR. And yes, we have the Motion 44. Yes, we have C19. Yes, we have the minister's report on the transition of TR to PR. We have all of those things operating in the background. But the reality is, what was he thinking when they did this draw? Let's take a look at it. February the 2nd, 2023, draw 240. We just had one yesterday, a PNP only draw. I talked yesterday about the fact that there is a pattern of potentially PNP and then CEC. But what is unique about this? Well, I'll show you what's unique about this. What's unique is that this category is federal skilled worker only. This has never happened before. Never. This is the first time that there's ever been a federal skilled worker only draw. And we can go back to the previous rounds of invitations. We can sort all of these rounds of invitations by program. So if I was to sort it, you can see federal skilled worker immediately before it was a PNP, then before we had a string of no program specified draws here. So I'll show you federal skilled worker since the beginning, and I've been involved with this thing since the very inception. Federal skilled worker program here. Let's sort by program. It goes alphabetical. You can see CEC all the way through. Let's go to the next page. And then on August the 6th, 2020 was the last federal skilled trades draw. We haven't had one since then. And if we scroll down further, you will see right here, February the 2nd is our federal skilled worker draw. Before that and since this draw, even leading up to before, we've never had a federal skilled worker draw. It's always been no program specified. So the question becomes, and I would love to invite him to come in and join us. Minister, what is your master plan? What are you thinking? So I've gone through, you guys. I've done a lot of my thoughts on a number of things that the minister's doing. I had some experience some opportunities to interact directly with him and to, I had meetings with the Canadian Bar Association. And if we look here, I'm going to just share a little something with you guys here. Within the videos that I've done, one of the videos that I've spent a lot of time on, and let me just try to shrink this down, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. We'll slide the minister over. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, guys. I better get to the right video here. You can see I did this video right here, TR to PR, top 6 key takeaways. And you can see there's been a few people that have watched it, 47,000. But in this video, one of the things that we talk about, and if I open this up, and this all plays together, you guys. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to go into the show more. You will see that this takes us right to my blog post. So I'm going to open up the blog post that I wrote on this and my top 6 takeaways. This is right out of this fine fellow's, right out of his mouth, essentially. This was issued by him. This occurred last year, essentially. And these are my top 6 takeaways from this report. And so if you look through here, here's the takeaways that I had. Work experience in key sectors will be increasingly important as the strategic draws come out. Yes, it will. Job offers. Yep, you can subscribe to our newsletter here. Job offers for Canadian employers will be much more plentiful and essential. We're seeing that. What else do I have? Express Entry is opening its doors to low skill. Rural Canada is on the rise. French language ability has never been more important. International students must be strategic about where they are studying in Canada. This is all geared towards a huge, massive push to basically to have a strategy to expand the transition from temporary to permanent residence for all of the people that are here in Canada wondering what the future holds for them, which includes all of you international students. So I want you to comment. I want to hear what you have to say about this. I know a lot of people that this really is affecting are still at work. They're probably wondering what's going on. You know, they're seeing the reports, they're watching things on Twitter, and I know people will be piling in here as we continue talking about this, but I wanted to take a few minutes just to get people's take on this. Sangini says, hey, Mark, thank you for this additional live session. Hope you're doing well. At least we can rely on you then, IRCC. Well, I don't know. There's nothing that I can really do to influence the minister other than try to sort out what he has just done here. Oh, and I keep pushing the wrong one. My apologies. So the reality is what's happened, or at least what I'm having to anticipate, is that maybe you guys, maybe tomorrow there will be a CEC only draw. Maybe there will be. We've done PNP, we've done FSW now. So maybe tomorrow they will do a CEC only draw. And if they were to do that, what would it look like? You can see within the invitations as we go through and seeing how many people are in the pool. Obviously, at the time in which this CRS score range, when it was this round of invitation was issued, 937, there were PNP candidates. So you can see this is really interesting because they have not changed this. Look at the date, February the 1st, 2023. They have not changed or updated this score, this score. If we go back to the previous rounds of invitations and we look at this here, the federal skilled worker, if we go back to the previous one, you'll see that they're still working off of, actually, let me take a step back here and make sure I'm pulling up the right one here. Let's see. It looks like we'll have to go back to the full one here. But you can see here on February the 1st, this draw, it was the same basically. So if we just go back here again, I'm just jumping around trying to make sense of what they have on their website here. But this view right here that we have, I'll go back one more. Okay, this view that we have right here as of today, February the 2nd, well, this data that we're looking at, go back one more time here till we get on to the right round of invitations. Okay, right here, this data here that we have has not been updated since the draw yesterday. So we don't know really what has changed in one day. Probably not a lot. But we do know that they have scooped out individuals that a few of them anyways, that are at the very, very top of this range. Now, one thing that people are probably going to skim over is this huge thing that I noticed right away. Look at the tiebreaker rule. Do you guys see that? The tiebreaker rule is March 29th, 2022. How long can a profile remain in the pool? 1 year. Today is February the 2nd. So maybe, applicants, they're going to time out. If they submitted their applications on February the 2nd, well, maybe their profile's expired. But the reality is February, I guess the 3rd, maybe the 2nd, February the 3rd to March 29th, 2022, individuals in the pool during that range, and this is going to cause lots of problems for people because they're going to be getting invitations to apply with profiles that are going to be expiring really, really quickly. Now, I'll give you a little update, when you receive an invitation, your profile is locked. So there isn't a danger of you somehow losing that invitation to apply because your profile crosses over the 1 year mark. It's locked. So you're okay. Just to give some people a little bit of breathing room if your profile was expiring on February the 3rd. Remember, March the 29th, 2022, it is February the 2nd, 2023 today. The vast majority of these people they're going to have profiles that will be expiring before they get their invitation to apply. There will be a number of people whose medicals are going to be expiring, whose police clearance certificates they're going to have to renew. and who are going to be caught off guard substantially by what's happened here. Remember that a number of people, like immediately, like in this range, like they're literally, their profiles were going to be expiring. If we go back here to my YouTube channel, you'll see that one of the things I'm doing, if I go to my lives here, I will release another one today at 4 o'clock. But I have, let's see if I can find it. Oh, it looks like it is not made visible just yet. Okay, I will, if you go to the, let's see, my scheduled post, maybe that's easier here. Okay, here we go. So upcoming live streams. So I have every single day, I'm going to be releasing a brand new short little video, and I will do it live so you can watch it live on very, very important aspects of Express Entry as you prepare basically to receive an ITA yourself. And so you can see here's some of the topics that are coming. I just did one just yesterday, and I talked about the importance of being strategic with your knock code in preparation for the occupations and selecting your primary knock. So, but the one I'm doing today is tears here, don't screw it up. Tomorrow, not all translators are created equal. The day after that, do not trust your employers. The day after that, banks suck. Getting proof of funds is tough. And then the last one, guilty until proven innocent, Express Entry police clearances. So mark these, request to get notified. All you have to do is go here and then just click this little button to notify me, and then you can join in. But I'm going to have a bunch of videos that really, it's unbelievably well timed, because this is pretty crazy. And there's going to be people who are really under brutal timelines now, trying to figure out what they're going to do. A lot of people overseas, and yeah, this is the whole nature of what we do within our firm. So if I go here, about us, our approach, you can see that we work with clients all over the world, literally to help navigate their way through Express Entry. And I want to share one other thing with you guys as well, before we get back to some more questions. If I can learn how to spell here, there it is. Okay, on my Canadian Immigration Institute, if you're not aware, the live stream is going to be happening. I shouldn't say live stream. The masterclass for the Express Entry course is going to be launching on this Monday, February the 6th. So if you're one of those individuals that has received an invitation through this March 29th round of invitations for CEC, or sorry, for FSW. Wow, there's so much going on here. This round of invitations, or the one for yesterday, the PNP, or really even January, there's still time. Come subscribe to the course, join us, or if you just want peace of mind, come and hire us, and we can help you with navigate your way through this Express Entry process. Okay, we've talked about it. Just to recap again, we have had a special round of invitation. It's groundbreaking. There has never been one like this before. As you can see here, it's a federal skilled worker draw only. We've had no program specified, but we've never had federal skilled worker. There were 3,300 invitations issued with a low score of 489, which is still quite high. And like I said, the tiebreaker rule was March 29, 2022, which effectively means people that submitted their applications between February the 3rd and March 29th of 2022 were the only ones that received an invitation to apply. Anyone submitting a profile after March the 29th will have not received an invitation to apply. All right, guys, let's jump back here and let's see what else we've got going on. Okay, Spider-Man says a new pattern. Yes, indeed, there is. He says at least 5,000 CEC tomorrow. Let's go. Well, you know what? What is Minister Fraser thinking? Maybe this is how they can justify doing a federal skilled worker in light of the fact there are so many temporary residents, international graduates on postgrad work permits, on the 18-month postgrad extension, who are desperate for options for permanent residence. Because this one, I'll be honest, Minister, I sure hope we're going to see a CEC. Maybe there will be. Maybe they'll do it today even. But there needs to be something, because this is going to be like a knife right to the heart, like a knife to the heart of all those CECers. And let's see what they have to say here. Okay. AB says, Mark, you were right in predicting there could be another program-specific draw right after yesterday's surprise PNP draw. Yes, indeed. But I did not expect it to be FSW. I thought at the most it would be CEC. All right, Spider-Man's having a good time. Igor, he posts, February is now officially the month of unique express entry draws. First, we have February the 13th. Now we have February the 2nd, 2023. Yes, Feb 13, 27,332, right? Low score 75, CEC only. Well, February, you bet. We've got an FSW. He said, coincidence? I don't think so. All right. Speculation. Okay, Mohammed, and this is something Mohammed brings up a good point. Maybe the glitches that affected CEC candidates are still there. If that is the case, then good thinking from IRCC. If CEC candidates are having problems, not everyone should pay for it. Well, that's a good point, right? Maybe there are some glitches. Maybe like the previous round of invitations where they had indicated the CRS score, they actually forgot to change the CRS score. Maybe with the with the actual round of invitations here, if we can slide over, maybe this was a glitch. Maybe they intended it to be CEC. Of course they didn't. That wouldn't be the case because it wouldn't be March the 29th. That would be the tiebreaker. This was intentional, but why, right? Why? It's possible maybe they were still cleaning up things with CEC, but if I was to try to, give some piece of advice, at least to the minister, to pull the knife out of the heart of all of you CEC eligible people working in Canada, wondering what the future is going to hold, I would advise him to roll out a CEC tomorrow at the least. Okay, that's my advice for you, Minister. All right, let's see what else we've got here. And please post your comments. I want to hear what you have to say about this. This is something that, like I said, we've never seen an FSW only draw. We just haven't seen it. So let's just see here. I'm just taking a quick peek to make sure that I'm not late for my consultation that's coming up. I just did this on the very spur of the moment, but let's see what else we have for comments. Okay, so Hussam says, you mean lots of CEC candidates with more than 490 did not get it drawn? Well, what I'm saying is no CEC candidates got drawn. So this round of invitations is exclusively for the Federal Skilled Worker Program. Anyone who qualified and is eligible for the Federal Skilled Worker Program received an invitation to apply. Just for those of you who are figuring out these things, and this is all new to you, let's take a quick peek at eligibility so you understand. To qualify for the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you can't do it with Canadian experience. So you have to demonstrate that you have, I should say you can't do it with Canadian work experience alone. So when you're going through the program, you have to meet the minimum point threshold based on what they call their selection factors. They cover the same things for eligibility for the FSW that are required for the comprehensive ranking system. Many people don't appreciate the fact that the Federal Skilled Worker Program has its own point scale. So you have to hit 67 points out of 100 on their selection grid. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but they look at work experience, age, education, all the same things to a large extent that CRS does. But on top of it, an individual has to have worked at least in one of these tiers, which is obviously no different than the other programs, at tier 3 or higher. And you can see here that they have to, the skilled work experience, and this is the difference, you guys, it must be in the same job within the last 10 years. It has to be paid, and it has to be at least 1 year of continuous work or 1,560 hours. And there's variations here that I won't get into. You can have part-time work, and you can potentially include student work if it's outside of Canada. But the reality is you have to meet those minimum requirements that I've just described here in order to have been drawn under this round of invitations. And so, nope, CEC definitely do not, no matter how many points. You could have a CEC candidate that had, 1,200 points, which would be really difficult CEC alone, but you could have, 1,200. Well, you can't really probably go that. Yeah, you can go that high, but realistically, I'm being kind of facetious here, but they could have 1,000 points and still not get drawn. Okay, Satnam, CEC draw any chance? Maybe. Like I said, if I was to give Minister Fraser just even a little piece of advice, which I'm sure he's thinking about it, he's got smart people who are advising him. I recommend that he definitely does the CEC draw tomorrow if he has an option. Okay. AB says IRCC should waive off the PR application fee for CEC candidates for putting them through this predicament. Well, definitely, I know you guys are hurting. Manzoor is on board with me. He says, I think tomorrow they will do a CEC only draw. Entirely possible. Lucy says, we need French draw, Minister Fraser. Hey, you guys, this is something that we've talked about at length. And what I went through, Igor and I are working on a blog post that specifically addresses this, Lucy. So if you go to our YouTube channel here, let's see if I can flip over, see if it wants to slide over. If you go to our YouTube channel and you look at the past videos, I'm not sure if it still shows up. Let's see here. I did it was a live, that's why. I did a live video, and remember, you can always toggle through. We do a lot of live streaming here, so there's a lot of different videos. But you will see here as you scroll down that, let's see here, we've got all the videos that are coming up. Don't trust your employer, tier, all those are coming up. Let's see, I'm trying to find the one, this one. Okay, right here, this video, if you haven't watched it, I recommend that you watch it, but I'm gonna be producing at least the beginning part. Because Express Entry 2.0, these new targeted draws, these new changes, there was some, basically the IRCC requested feedback on what Express Entry should look like for the targeted draws. But in that feedback, in the questions and how they set it up, they really revealed a lot about what they are planning to do, including the minister. So go and watch this video, but stay tuned because there's going to be another blog post that I'm going to release, as well as a new video that's a little bit more strategic, kind of like the one I did for the TR to PR pathway, that will give a tremendous amount of insight on where the minister is going with all of this. But yeah, does he have the ability to say only individuals with French language are in this draw? Well, he could. Remember, the targets that they have for Francophone French language speakers going through Express Entry are under 5% of total applicants. So it would be pretty ambitious to just do a French alone, but clearly they get a leg up if they have French language ability. So thank you so much for that insight. Okay. Stangini says, does IRCC ever conduct a draw on Friday, since previously we only saw the pattern for Wednesday, Thursday? Well, remember, if we look back in our calendar and we look at, I don't even know if I can pull it up. Probably not. Let's just see here if I can cheat. Calendar 2022. Let's see if I can just cheat here and see if I can pull up a calendar. Oh, it's kind of weird. Well, we'll just share it. This is the one that I was able to find. So if we go back in time and we look at the calendar and we look at 2022, you can see here, although let's see if I can enlarge it. Hey, this is on the fly. We're just working it. Work. Okay. So there we go. So if you look here, and this is going to mess up all my other pages, that's okay. February the 13th. Do you see February the 13th? So this is calendar. Oh, we got to go back one more year. Sorry, 2021. So if we go back here and we look at February the 13th, that's when the big draw was. What day did it happen? It was on a Saturday. So February 13th, that round of invitations, that 27,332 that was CEC only occurred on a Saturday. So absolutely, they could very well do it on a Friday. They could do it on a Saturday. So, and it was Saturday morning, because I remember I jumped on and we had a ton of, rapid fire streams trying to break it down and share the news. And it was absolutely crazy to think about. Okay, let's get to a few more. Okay, yeah, we've got that one. Mitra says, is this a glitch? Did they mean all programs instead of FSW? Nope, they meant FSW. They absolutely did. Let's see, what else do we have here? AB said IRCC sent an email earlier regarding exemption from having to complete an additional immigration medical exam. Yep, they do that. Yeah, and many people have received those. Rupinder says, as an international student, can I count my part-time job as it was level B? It depends on which program you're talking about. So international student, were you in Canada studying? If the work experience was accumulated while you were studying, no. If you were accumulating that work experience part-time, at least 15 hours averaged per week in a skill level B job while you're on your post-grad work permit, then you may be able to. But in every case, you guys, if you have questions, you're uncertain, please, please, please slide over to our law firm website right here and click on Speak to a Lawyer. There's links in the description as well, but I can help you to navigate through whatever it is you're struggling with. Okay, I think my computer's about ready to die, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to slide over here and wrap this up. But wow, it's just crazy to think of the fact that there's an FSW draw alone at this time. Very crazy. Okay, Ravi says, oh, okay, part-time job as student doesn't count. Sangini, that is, if it's inside Canada as a student, that is true, but outside of Canada, that rule doesn't apply. Okay. Ravi says 486 points in FSW. Should I consider LMIA from my employer as well? Get it. If you can consider an LMIA, absolutely, Ravi. Every time I would advise people to do that. And I've got a course on LMIAs, but also we help tons of employers with their labor market impact assessments. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Zebu says, I have only 1 year work experience right now, but my score is calculated as if I had 2 years. Anyone have the same experience? They always round up by the month. So it's possible that you may not have met the exact 1 year because they count every day in a month as a part of the month itself. Okay, let's see here. Well, I think we're just about ready to wrap up. Ninki says this is painful for people who have been working here for 3 years and work permits are expiring soon. 485 points. I understand. And the person you need to ask about that is Minister Fraser. What is the plan? We will see. If there's a CEC draw, you bet I'll be going live to talk about it. All right. Manpreet, great post, Manpreet. I have 49 FSW, but submitted profile in December. So I guess Tiebreaker got me. It did. And this is where people need to understand that, that this whole process that we're talking about here, the people that are drawn, these 3,300, only encompass a small window. You can see right here, a small window of March, basically February the 3rd to March the 29th. That's the rule. And so what happens? The people that have had their profile in the longest were the winners. So even if individuals like anyone, let me classify this so that people understand what's going on here. So 489 right here, anyone whose scores were right on 489. This isn't to confuse anyone who had 490 points or 491. They could have submitted their profile at any time. Okay. That's not the issue. The tiebreaker is only for people who hit on 489 exactly. And so they made a decision to do this as a round number, 3,300. So anyone who had a 489 CRS score and they submitted their profile after March 29th, 2022, 1609 UTC, they did not receive an ITA. So if we go back here and we look at Manpreet, 489, profile December 2022, Manpreet just, well, missed out because there were people who submitted profiles at 489 before Manpreet did. So my heart breaks for you, my friend. That really breaks. Fingers crossed that this is not the end for you. Okay, Satnam says CEC draw tomorrow, then any chance 486? Why not? It's entirely possible. Okay, Sadat says, what if you're qualified for both CEC and FSW? Are you getting invited? Yes, you are. If you qualify for both and you have a score that's over 489 or you submitted before March 29th at 1609 UTC, then you would get it. So you can be eligible for more than one program. And if you're eligible for both, you should get an ITA. Okay. Mario says, I saw the news of this surprise draw and ran to see if you were covering it. You never fail. Thanks. This draw has pushed my hopes up. I will give you one of these. And I turned the sound effect off. So I'll give you the applause right here. There it is. All right. And this is what we try to do, is to try to cover it as quickly as possible. And it just worked out. I didn't have a consultation right now. Okay. Baggy Deep says, hello, Mark. This draw was a relief for people like me who are sitting at 485 and above. Hopes are still alive for me at 487. Yes. Hopes are alive. Okay, we'll get to Ninki here. Doesn't make sense. Yesterday, PNP draw, there should be about 44 left in 600 plus, and combined with all the candidates in 491 plus is more than 3,300. Yeah, remember, FSW, there could be people that are CEC only that are way up in that total, right? There could be people that are PNPs that came in later. There could be FSWs that came in literally submitted, well, high CRS scores that filed their applications literally yesterday after the rounds of invitations and were caught today. So there's a number of factors. The numbers are really hard to really break down. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Mohammed says, this is hurting. I am a CEC candidate. I live and work in Canada and studied here. That is not logical. So let's give Minister Fraser the benefit of the doubt here. For all of you that are in Canada, let's just see if there's a CEC tomorrow. Let's just see. Let's watch it closely. If there is, you know I'll be here. All right. Okay. Aditya says, if this FSW draw, why is score so high? Because there are so many people, FSW, that have super high CRS that are not eligible. And then Casey says, because so many CC people also qualify. Well, not really. Remember, the scores, CC does accumulate with the no program specified draws is pulling everybody, including PNPs. And so ultimately, when you're looking at why are the draws so high, it's because there were literally that many people that were in the pool. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. Crazy, crazy day today. For the very first time, if you're just tuning in as I'm wrapping this up, for the very first time ever in the history of the Express Entry program, the Federal Skilled Worker Program was isolated, and only candidates who were eligible under the Federal Skilled Worker Program were extended an invitation to apply on today, February the 2nd, in the Express Entry round 270. 489 was the cutoff. The tiebreaker for 489 was way back March 29th, 2022. All right. Thanks for joining, everybody. Take care.